I was adopted, and my aged parents had got themselves a house, and my old dad, instead of paying the mortgage, decided he'd give the money to the bookmakers instead. And they was in some really dire straits. I was like 21 years old. I couldn't have my aged parents chucked out on the street, so I had to get myself a mortgage. So all those people out there crying about the mortgage rates, the mortgage at that point was 13.5%, the rates were, and it went up to 15.4 at the time. But anyway, I got myself a mortgage, saved their house, and that was my initiation by fire. Welcome to real estate.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm excited to be chatting with John Campbell. He's been making serious moves with the John Campbell Group at Revel Real Estate. John, I'm glad to have you on the show today.
Thanks very much. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. So let's jump on in, John. For our listeners, please share more about your world and tell us how you got into real estate.
Yeah, initiation by fire. I was back in the UK. You may be able to tell from my accent. I'll try and slow it down a bit to be more clearly understood for the American ear. When I was back in the 80s, 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there was a big recession back in the UK. And the regular folks there was a program where you could buy your house. If you'd lived in kind of government housing, you could buy the house for cheap, depending on how long you'd lived there. So I was adopted, and my aged parents had got themselves a house, and my old dad, instead of paying the mortgage, decided he'd give the money to the bookmakers instead. And they was in some really dire straits. I was like 21 years old. I couldn't have my aged parents chucked out on the street, so I had to get myself a mortgage. So all those people out there crying about the mortgage rates, the mortgage at that point was 13.5%, the rates were, and it went up to 15.4 at the time. Anyway, I got myself a mortgage, saved their house, and that was my initiation by fire. Welcome to real estate. But it was that good deed, if you like, introduced me to real estate, and then I learned the value of property, that it always goes up over time. It goes up, it goes down, it always goes back up, and that you could have decent appreciation, etc. If you could get into if you could be an investor in real estate. So that was my introduction to it. Yeah,
that was an intense introduction.
Yeah.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah. So that's a really quite a story. Was there like a moment in your journey from that point forward that you knew that real estate was going to be a passion of yours?
It's always been like the second string. I've worked in entertainment also my whole life. I've been acting for like over 30 years, done like 50 movies. I was last seen in Cardi B's latest video for her song Safe. I might give away as a spoiler alert. I'll tell you and you can decide if you want to share with the audience or not. But I'm the killer, I'm the shooter. I'm the guy who kills at the end of her video. I'm fighting with a 6 months pregnant Cardi B, literally. Yeah, the video's had 13 million views in 2 weeks. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now. But yeah, so I've been in entertainment over 30 odd years, but that was my that was my introduction to real estate. It was kind of urgent for the parents back in the day. But that led me to sort of understand it, and I was like, oh, this is great. So then I was doing pretty well in the entertainment world, so I ended up getting like a portfolio of properties back in London, where you may have guessed I'm from, and then getting my license, etc. I came over here to the States 16 years ago, and then when I got here, I bought a place actually in 2012, I think, and I decided I did work with a friend of mine, another guy I met in an acting class, and we decided one of us should get our license to be better informed investors. Plus, I had a background. So I thought, let's get my license in the States. So that's exactly what I did. But I found out I couldn't do it until I had a green card in place. I had a thing called the O1 visa, but you couldn't do it without a green card. The minute I got my green card, I got my visa, my license straight after. I'm in my office right here in Beverly Hills as we speak. And I've been doing real estate here in the States for I think this is maybe year 11, 10, 11, something like that. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, it was initiation by fire. I was just a young lad going, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from it, and I think the good juju has stayed with me with all the deals since, which has been over 30 years now. So, I work as an agent. I have my own team here at Revel, and we're based in Beverly Hills. We serve the whole of LA. But I've been an agent and an investor for over 30 years now. So, I look at every house, every deal through the eyes of an investor. So I'm looking at, what are the margins, what's the upside? Is this a potential flip? Is this a buy, hold, rent type of deal or not? So I think that serves me well. I started as an investor and then later became an agent, and I think that was a good way of doing it. Yeah, or not? Who knows?
Yeah, having the investor perspective too, you're offering an insight that, not other agents may have.
Yeah. I want to know. I want to know exactly what the rents are, what the costs are, I want to know the cap rate straight out of the gate. But I've been doing this for a long time, and we work with everybody from first-time buyers to uber luxury folks. The biggest sale at the brokerage this year so far was 86 million. Actually, one of Rod Stewart's old houses, actually, in Holmby Hills. But we're working with first-time buyers that are trying getting into little condos and stuff. LA entry level is becoming like about $1 million for a house. 2 million is a decent house, but you're not even anywhere near luxury at that point. 3, 4, 5 and beyond is kind of luxury. But we work with developers in all ends of the market. Some of them are doing massive houses, some are doing mum and pop flips and everything in between, as well as we've done a bunch of investment. My background was entertainment. So my first clients were all the kind of producers and directors and actors, etc. So we work with a lot of entertainment folks as well, and a lot of those guys are very, very shrewd investors, and they nearly the one thing I would say, we're privileged to work with a lot of wealthy folks, and a lot of my friends have been much more regular. But I'd say the one thing I find that the rich have in common is that they nearly always hold a large amount of their riches in real estate. So they have a very sharp eye for a rental property or something with an upside to extend their portfolio, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. John, with your, investor background, what are some of the opportunities that you are seeing in LA and California that people should be aware of?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's the same for the rest of the country, but it's it's a bit of a tough time for real estate right now. Interest rates. So my first mortgage was 13.5%. So when people when they're crying, oh no, 7%. I'm like 7%. That's been more of a standard, I think, through the years. But people got very comfortable with those 3% mortgages a few years back, and understandably, so now they think it's like, oh my God, it's about 6.4% actually sitting today in LA, and I don't think it's terrible. But what I can say is it's really we've been having a standoff all year. I mean, I know that I think the whole country's having a tough time, but here especially, we've had the fires. Before that, we had the writers' strike. We had the actors' strike. Before that, we had the writers' strike. Before that was a pandemic. It's like we've been under attack. End of days, LA real estate, pestilence, plague. Who knows? But it's been a tough time. But yeah, the fires were a tough one for a lot of folks here earlier in the year. But the market here right now, you've got sellers wanting to hold on to that same pricing because it's been going up and up and up and up since the last fall of 2008. And then they're sitting on these like 3% mortgages. Really, they're not motivated to really move unless they really have to. Death, divorce, taxes, ABs, etc. And then the buyers are like, oh my God, it's 6-7% interest rates. We can't pay that. And it's like, well, but I think it's a really fantastic time to buy in LA, because a couple of years ago, you were having like 10, 20 offers on a property straight out of the gate, people bidding 100 grand. I saw one house went $500,000 over the asking price, and it was only and it closed at 1.5 million. So it was $1 million house. It was crazy, yeah. Where now days on market have doubled. It's a very, very sensitive market. Things the failure rate in escrow, far more, twice as many escrows are falling out now than the same time last year. You've got 25% more inventory than this time last year, because the buyers are waiting for the interest rates to drop. The sellers are hanging on to the pricing, and it's gone from a heavy sellers market to a kind of even buyer and sellers market, and now it's shifting to much more of a buyer's market. And now, if you are very qualified, and there's many houses just sitting, you may, with the right representation, be able to pick up a great substantial discount on a house that's sitting on the market. But so yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, when it comes to those buyers who are looking for a property, how do you help source them a good deal?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Well, we have we're a member of Top Agent Networks. You have to be, it's like an invite only off market platform. You have to be in the top 10% of producers in Los Angeles to be able to access. So we're part of that. So we have a decent off market reach, and we have I spent 30 years also in the entertainment industry, so I have a pretty broad reach of national, international buyers and people in that field of work. So that's one of our value adds, if you like. Um, and you will see, and you'll be surprised at how many of the more luxury properties want a discreet kind of off-market, quiet sale. Um, but we've got our ear to the ground, and I've probably got 50 developers in my phone, maybe more. In all price points. That some people, a lot of people are just looking to pick up something they can, quick flip, etc. But there's a lot of people in that area right now, and unless people really know what they're doing, I'm seeing people maybe make a mistake and not have the margins they would have at the end. And literally, a close friend of mine rang me earlier today who's flipping two houses. Their escrow just fell out, I think 4 or 5 days before it was due to close. And this is a really close friend of mine who I was out with a few days ago, was going, oh yeah, sold the house. I went, as the escrow closed? And they were like, no, not yet, but it looks good. And I went, okay. And she called me early and went, oh my God, it's fell out. And I've gone, yeah, so you got, on the investment market, you've got these, if they fall out right at the end, now they maybe got a hard money loan, they got all these holding costs, and now the market's kind of static. And they're, my God, what we're going to do, So it's a good time for buyers, tough time for sellers. Flips are always going on, but there's so many people, think that, oh yeah, we'll do flips. Only the really experienced flippers are doing well because margins are down, tariffs, prices are up. You've also got ICE raids going on in LA as well, So the workforce, a lot of the workforce are hiding or have left. It's actually pretty sad. This happens to a lot of folks. So labor charges are up, and then you got tariffs, so lumber charges are up. So margins are down, prices are up, the market's sitting a bit. So it's, unless people really know what they're doing, they could make a mistake, So be very careful. Know your stuff, know your margins, and buy smart and build right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure the experience that you had early on that, you were talking about how you got started, that kind of plays a role in, helping people, and that you've been through something similar.
Oh man, I was so over leveraged. It was ridiculous. But what are you going to do, And when I first, so I've been here for like 16 years. When I bought a place here with a good friend of mine, I was an actor for a long time, over 30 years. And a friend of mine I met in an acting class, we bought a multi-unit property together. We bought it with an FHA loan, which was great. And then we converted the garage into an ADU, so then a duplex became a triplex. But we were so over leveraged. We were like, we had a duplex. We were living in the smaller unit in the back, me and my friend and my now wife, I bought with me from the UK. And then we rented the bigger unit out to get a bigger rent. Thank God we were very choosy with the tenants. We had great tenants all the way through, because if we'd have had a bad tenant, we'd have been upside down. So I wouldn't, be very careful. The market has shifted since then. Now there's a lot more people maybe gaming the system, defaulting on their rent. It's very tough for a tenant eviction in California, so I don't know if I would be quite as brazen as I was back then. We were like, we're getting this house, it's a smart thing to do, I've got these years of knowledge, we're getting it done. But we were so over leveraged, it was very risky, but it paid off, So I love to buy, hold and rent, buy smart, fix it up, hold it and rent it. But But one factor is the tenant laws here are so lax and seems to be getting worse every day. I feel maybe California's a little too woke. It leans a bit too far in the, if someone generally can't pay their rent, they're having trouble, then of course they deserve all the help they can get. There's Section 8, there's programs out there to help. But it's so... You got a lot of other people, mum and pop investors that might have been fortunate enough, they've inherited a house perhaps, or they just managed to cobble their money together and get a second house or whatever. And if they get a bad tenant that really tries to game the system, it can be really, really tough to get them out. And we helped several people in the last couple of years, especially landlords that just had enough. They'd spent 6 figures on a lawyer. 2 years on, they still not got them out, and they were like, "Oh man, we just need to sell." So then we had to strategize the best way to sell with a tough tenant. If someone, you could do cash for keys, but if someone doesn't want to do that, then you've just got to shoulder that burden, if you like. Is it worth it? Is it not? So we have the stuff we've listed, we've had to sell at a discount to folks, which you could say that was an opportunity for the investor, but now they've got the headache of moving the tenant, which might not be fun. So it's an interesting time in the market where I think experience really counts, and if you're looking to buy and flip, then you really got to know what you're doing and have access to good labor, good lines of credit, and know exactly what you're doing. And if you are going to buy, hold, rent, also choose your tenants very, very carefully, screen them carefully, or if you're going to pivot the other direction and do Section 8 or government assisted program, that's also kind of cool. There's been some new laws like SB 9, SB 10 in LA quite recently, where you could now take a lot that was the lot is big enough. It varies a bit from each place to place, but you could now have 2 duplexes on where formerly you could have only had one house. So that's some developers I know are pivoting to that rather than build the luxury places, which could suffer from the mansion tax. So if you do something in LA now for more than you sell something for more than 5.3 million, you got to pay an extra 4% tax. It's called a mansion tax, ULA tax. It's failed miserably. That money was supposed to go to help with homelessness, etc. What it did was reduce luxury sales by 80%. Crazy. It just hasn't worked. Someone needs to address it. And now you've got, from the fires, people lost thousands of homes were lost in these fires, and the Pacific Palisades is a very affluent area. So now a lot of developers are not in a big rush. People can't build back and make it worth their while, because now developers need to factor in those extra margins. An extra 4% is taken if it's 5.3%, or an extra 5.5% if it's 10.5%. You go, well, 10.5 million if it's more than 10.6 million. But you go, 10 million. But actually in LA, there's a lot of homes. A lot of developers only do stuff north of 5 million, north of 10 million. And that is driving those guys to look to other states to potentially develop, because they don't need the extra, they can't factor into their margins that ULA tax to, is it really worth their while? Who knows? There's a lot of questions in LA real estate right now, not for the faint-hearted, or definitely not for the inexperienced,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good that there's a lot of experience behind the John Campbell group then. What would you say is next on the horizon for your
Next
group?
on
What
the
do you see in
horizon
mind?
group, who knows? We work with every type of people. The biggest list we have for the books right now is 60 million in Holmby Hills in Carrollwood, a very famous street there. Great, lovely legacy property. Smallest listing is we have a little house, great little start house in Hollywood for 895,000, which is unheard of. It is like it's buy a house for the price of a condo, But So we're expanding in all areas. The LA's like our office is here in Beverly Hills, but it's a massive geographical area, and we cover all of it. From we have listings as far west as Malibu, as far east as Mount Washington, Pasadena, as the four corners of the city, over the hill, north to the valley, Studio City, Sherman Oaks, Encino, you name it. Or on Super South, Baldwin Hills, etc. So we just continue to try and offer. I have people sometimes say to me, "What do you do? What do you expect from your team, or what do you do differently?" And I say I demand excellence. I think people should be excellent at what they do, and if I'm working with if I'm working with somebody and they're selling a condo in West Hollywood and they have a greater experience, they have a specialist in their area, then yeah, I will oversee the paperwork and maybe the negotiation and all of that. But I will put in a specialist in that area for that type of product, so the customer is best served. And in this particular sensitive market where people are waiting, unless something is presented perfectly painted, decluttered, staged, appeal, priced correctly, if you are even slightly off on one of those pieces, especially the pricing, stuff is just sitting. Days on market has doubled in the last 12 months. There's 25% more inventory now than there was this time last year, and twice as many deals falling out of escrow. Very, very nervous, sensitive time in the market. So people really do need more guidance than ever before, I believe, and need to price things right, and present it correctly, or else they're just going to sit. But on the flip side of that, if you're a buyer, I think it's an amazing time to buy, because there are a lot of houses sitting in the market. There's a lot of very nervous developers that have these crazy holding costs, hard money loans, etc., that need to free that money up to get into their next project. And then other people that just have to sell, because of life, what's stuff going on in their life. So it's a really, really smart time to buy. And I would say, a couple of years ago it's been a seller's market for the last sort of 10 years, really. And then it's been a seller's market for the last sort of year or two. And now it's shifting to very much a buyer's market. And I'm seeing some people get some great bargains. It's a good time. If you like to get a discount, it's a good time to buy, in my humble opinion. Yeah, because there's price reductions all around, everywhere you look.
Yes, there are opportunities everywhere, and it's important that when you're looking for a property that you go with someone experienced like you, John. If someone listening today wants to connect, reach out,
Yeah.
what's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, I like carrier pigeons, because they don't eat much. They're pretty strong. You can tie a little note to the. No, if you Google John Campbell, Realtor Beverly Hills, John Campbell Group, we're across all platforms. We're very active on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, you name it. I'm not hard to find.
John, I appreciate you coming on the show today, sharing your story and your expertise.
I appreciate it. And thank you for giving me so much of your time.
And for our listeners, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pros podcast. We've got more conversations lined up with experts like John, who are out there building fantastic real estate businesses. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.